Testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello, students. Here we are, Unit 10. Let's talk about poop. Okay, here we go. So, we can't talk about poop without talking about digestion. So, when I'm talking about digestion, it's we all need to eat. Some of us love to eat. Some of us just eat to live. Some of us live to eat. But however you're living, you're eating. Now, when we eat food, it goes through our digestive system. The main function of this is that it's breaking down foods into smaller molecules, because believe it or not, everything we put into our mouths, our bodies are trying to use. They're trying to, we need every nutrient possible. So think about that when you indulge in flaming hot Cheetos versus, a salad, because, which one is more nutrient dense? So your body is going to try to get every last little bit of nutrients out of the food that you eat. Now, our digestive system, maybe you've seen an old-fashioned assembly line. The digestive system is like a disassembly line. Dis means not, right, or un. So it's actually moving the food in one direction, just like an assembly line. However, it is disassembling it. So it's breaking it down, breaking it apart. Now, the first place digestion begins is in the mouth. So the second we put that morsel of goodness into our mouth, our saliva starts going to town, and it starts to break down the food. It's amazing because without saliva, it actually would take our bodies 1,000,000 times longer, and I'm not just saying like 1,000,000 for nothing. It is literally 1,000,000 times longer to digest our food. Our saliva is called an enzyme. Maybe you remember that from, I believe it's Unit 2. It's called an enzyme, and which is a catalyst that speeds reaction. Now, after our mouth, our food goes down our esophagus. Now, maybe you think, oh, how come it doesn't go down our, into our lungs, where our air goes? It's because we actually have two pipes. We have an esophagus and we also have a trachea. The trachea is for your airway, and your esophagus is for the food. There's a little flap of skin actually called the epiglottis, and it's right here. It's this little flap of skin, and it covers up your trachea whenever you're swallowing. It's amazing, and it's pretty much works, and as long as you're taking your time to chew. Now, from there, something called peristalsis. You see this word right here? It is mucho important. It's on your test. You're going to see it throughout this unit. Peristalsis is rhythmic contractions. If you could see me right now, I would be making a wave motion with my hand like this. It's pushing the food in a wave-like motion, and it's going to continue to do that throughout the entire system. All right, so we're going to do this really fun activity in class, so stay tuned. You're going to love it. Now, there's two types of digestion. The first type is called mechanical digestion. The mechanical is when you're chewing, when you're churning, your stomach churning. I mean, that's the actual movements of things. Now, versus chemical digestion, well, that's going to be your enzymes like saliva, the acid of your stomach, even bile. I wonder if you remember what bile is. If you've ever been really sick and you're barfing a lot, to where you barf your whole guts up and then you barf and it's like this bright yellow stuff, that's bile. All right, now from your, so now remember, food starts in the mouth, it goes through the esophagus, and then it drops into the stomach. Now in the stomach, you've got these crazy gastric juices. Maybe when you're hungry in class or somewhere and you hear that squirting sound, that's it. That's your digestive juices. You can hear them because there's nothing in there for them to squirt onto. Now, your stomach muscle actually does churn. It contracts. your stomach is a muscle that contracts, and it's kind of churning, it's moving it around. We also have this really cool hydrochloric acid, and it goes to town on anything that is bad, any bad bacteria. Now that you have this, you chewed your food, it went down your esophagus, it dumped into your stomach, and now it's been broken down, it's now called chyme. That's kind of a yucky word. Now, remember, I said the main thing that you want from your food is nutrients. So absorption, maybe you've seen commercials for paper towels and they're like, oh, these ones are so absorbent. Look how much they can pick up. Or diapers. Look, my kid could pee all night in these and they never leak. Absorption is where the nutrients are going to move out of the digestive organs and they're going to move into the circulatory. Remember, that's your blood. And your lymphatic. That's your immune system. These are going to move through our bodies, through our blood. Our heart is working now. It's pumping that blood with the nutrients that are being delivered wherever they need to go. Now, here is something, is that there is in our small intestine, we've got, this is inside the intestine right here, and there's these little finger-like projections, and these guys are called villi and microvilli. So let's say this is the little chyme, the little clump of food. So what these guys' job is that they are absorbing the nutrients from this food in your small intestine. So the food is going to stay in your small intestine for about 3 to 5 hours. So, that doesn't seem too long, does it? Now, the lining is, maybe you've seen a picture of an intestine before. It's like this. It's like a little snake all coiled up. So that little chunk of food has to travel all the way through here, here, here. And the reason for that is that we've got to we want the slowness of the passage of the food because it gives us the most nutrients. Now, the things that really can't be broken down, things that just have not really much use to us, like waste and extra water, are going to go to the large intestine next. Now, before we talk about the large intestine, the small intestine is in fact skinny but very, very long. It's actually not small. So check this out, you guys. Inside of your stomach, or inside of your abdominal cavity, I should be a science teacher right now, there is a humongous small intestine, to the point where if you were to cut it out and lay it out, it would be 19 feet tall. Hello, that's as big as a giraffe. I'm not joking. This is completely real. When we dissect our pig, you're going to take the pig's intestines out, and you're going to be able to lay it all out and see how incredibly long the pig's intestine is as well. So let's talk about our liver. This is a pretty yucky picture here, but our liver produces bile and digests fat. Now, it's also primarily filters harmful toxins. Maybe you've ever heard of someone that struggled with alcoholism and they die of liver failure. That happens because whenever we are drinking alcohol, whether we are enjoying responsibly or not, it is a toxin that we introduce into our bodies. That toxin goes straight up to the liver where it has to get filtered. So if it has to work too hard. Okay, now, the large intestine. Now, it's going to hang out for quite a while in the large intestine, isn't it? Now, it was only in our small intestine for 3 to 5 hours, so it's in there quite a bit longer. Now, this is the last chance for absorption. If you've ever heard of E. coli, perhaps, E. coli is, something that is in each of our intestines, and it is the primary reason we get food poisoning. Because if somebody prepares your food and they did not wash their hands, they had a little bit of poop on their hands, and you get a little of their E. coli, it will make you very sick. We are immune to our own E. coli. Now, the colon is the last stop. So right here would be the colon. And it's also known as the poop lounge. Oh, it's a cute name for it, isn't it? And it also will absorb water because, you know, our bodies just need every little bit of water. So every last chance we get, it's absorbing water. Now the chyme that was once traveling, you know, made in your stomach, traveling through your intestines, it was once something great, you know, it was once delicious potato salad. Now it's, you know, the technical term for it here would be feces. That's AKA poop. Now, a reflex. Now remember, reflexes are something that you do not tell to happen. Moves the poop, the feces, through the anal sphincter, and then voluntary activity lets it go out. Now we know we've been potty trained for many years now, and so you know that when is the right time and when is the wrong time to go ahead and let that poop out. So that's voluntary. So, you know, talking about poop, it is, let me show you what it's made of. Oh, well, let me talk about this first. So, large intestine. So, you will probably, you know, I hope this doesn't make you uncomfortable. At least you're not in class right now. You know, we all poop. It's okay. Now, you probably are familiar with that little feeling of pressure that you feel. And it says, hey, ready for business. Now, what if the mission is aborted? Meaning, oh, dude, I'm at school and I don't really trust the lock on that door, or, oh, I'm at my girlfriend's house. This is not a good time. So what it's going to do is it's just going to kind of go back up into the poop lounge, and it's going to wait, and it's going to try to tell you again that it needs to go. Now, be careful. Do not let it keep going into the poop lounge. If it does, then you will become very constipated. The reason is because in the poop lounge, remember, its main job is water absorption. That's just all going to make it really, really dry, and it's going to make it harder to come out. So you should listen to that little pressure. So, So yes, here it is, constipation, if you let your poop lounge too long. So if it's a moderately convenient time, then I would suggest you go. Now, in case you were wondering, this is what your poop is made of. Believe it or not, it is made of 75% water. It has 8% dead bacteria. Remember, bacteria is our friend. We've got bacteria on our skin and our gut, everywhere. It's made of fiber. Fiber is undigestible to our bodies. So that's why they say, hey, eat some fiber, you know, if you can't poop or something. And that's because it's going to move through your small intestine, not be able to be absorbed, and then it's going to start pushing whatever is waiting out because it needs to make room. It's got some salt, protein, and finally fat. So we'll watch a video in class called Fart Science. It's funny. And we'll watch this as well. Now, definitely make sure you pay, you pay tribute to Mr. Parr. We shall miss him. Now, our excretory system. So now this is non-solid waste. That means pee or sweat or even exhalation, meaning when you breathe out, there's little teeny tiny bits of water that you are exhaling. So it's sweat, urine, and exhalation. So this is how we're going to get out extra water. We're going to get out salt. Maybe you've noticed if you've ever, felt licked your arm when you were sweaty. I don't know why you do that, but we all know that our sweat is salty. We'll also get toxins out this way. And our lungs, our skin, so our lungs, our skin, our kidneys, and our bladders all work together to get rid of this non-solid waste. Now, when you breathe out, your lungs, we exhale this beautiful CO2 that gets put into the trees, and then they make us even better oxygen. Now, our oxygen levels are balanced when we exhale carbon dioxide. Now, our skin, one of the main reasons we sweat is to maintain our body temperature. So when it's super hot outside, that is miserable, and you are sweating up a storm because your body's like, whoa, 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 I got to maintain my homeostasis. Now, your kidneys are two little organs. They're shaped like a kidney bean, and they are located in kind of like your lower back area. Their job is to filter and clean your blood. They also produce urine. They're made of these insanely complex units called nephrons. When you are future doctors of OFL, when you are in human anatomy class in college, you're going to learn the heck out of a nephron. In this class, we do not. Now, our kidneys eliminate waste. They also clean our blood. Wow. So our blood being cleaned is what produces urine. Now, the urine's going to travel through the ureter. That's a little tube attached to each kidney. And from there, it's going to drop into the bladder. It's a little sac. So that means that it's flexible. It can hold, it's almost like, here he is, it's almost like a little balloon. And it can hold up to 2 cups of urine at a time. So this tube here, you can see the ureter right here. It's these, so here's your kidneys, and they're going to drop the waste, the urine, into this little tube, and then it's going to sit in your bladder until your bladder gets a little bit full, like a little balloon. It's going to, again, give you some pressure. Then it will come out right here through your urethra. Both males and females have urethras. Now, here's that word I was telling you about, nephrons. Look, so you guys, this picture right here. This is a nephron, and when you go to med school or you take human anatomy, you have to know like tubule, glomerulus. There's even more stuff. It's a very complex cell. It's actually one of the most complex cells in our body. But they have a really big job. Now, each kidney has 1,000,000 nephrons. That is a lot. But again, a big job needs a lot of helpers. Now, if a person maybe you've heard of the word dialysis before. So if someone's kidneys stop working, then they need to they go to a place, they get hooked up to a machine, and they get dialysis. Dialysis needs to be done 3 times a week, and it takes many, many hours at a time. So a person that's on dialysis, would not really be able to work, probably. Maybe you know somebody, a grandparent or someone that's been on dialysis. But it's pretty gnarly because basically the machine takes their blood out, cleans it, and then puts it back in. It's just amazing. Okay, so we're going to do an activity in class, and that is it for today. Now I'm going to give you your password, and it's going to be this, because I love talking about poop. : equals poop lounge. That's what you're emailing me. Don't forget to email me. And I will look forward to seeing you guys soon. All right, bye.